in small town business. He'd been with the insurance company for years and years. Well, they called, and I did a lot of his talking because he was losing his hearing. They're like, yeah, we know with his age, and we know he doesn't drive anymore, but he still has the vehicle licensed and registered in his name. It's costing him, and I don't remember what it was at, almost $1,000 a year insurance. And so I talked to my guy from USAA, and he says, well, in order to even do anything, it's got to be in your name. It's got to have the title, the license, the registration. I'm like, okay, uh, so for $35, we redid the title, then got a new registration.
No, I'm not that techno.
Oh, to project it to the TV?
Yeah. It might be possible, but we're just going to pretend like
put my name on it so that I could put it under my insurance. And it dropped down to like less than $250 a year because it had all my multi-car discount and all that kind of stuff, which he still paid me. He's like, okay, how much this year? I looked into it. It's this much, and he paid me his insurance. Well, so after he passed away, at that point, all of the sisters in their smaller vehicles, whether it was a sedan or a small SUV, could put Elna her oxygen in the wheelchair in their vehicle. So they were gonna sell it because that was June, I think, of that year. Well, come August, I started having that dying problem, that problem keeping it running and started and whatnot. And talked to Heidi, and maybe I ought to get a new one. I mean, although I had that car for so long. And so she talked to the sisters, and they're like, yeah, they looked up the Kelly, and I ended up buying that Toyota for $3,500. It had like 120,000 miles on it is all. Toyota Sienna. So I paid $3,500 for a car I already owned.
So who do you expect else will be joining us?
I've not been told anything, but I mean the primary folks are here with Gary and Dad.
Can you hear us, Maggie?
Yoko.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hello.
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 You can't see me waving, but I'm waving at you all.
Okay.
Right, we can't see you waving. I can't see you doing anything. It's dark.
I know. This is the first time I've been on Zoom on my phone. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, but it was fairly easy.
Did I hear you're on a cruise?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Thank you for taking time away from your vacation.
The comedian that's downstairs.
Yeah.
We are on our way back home, though. We're supposed to get, the East Coast is supposed to get like whiteout snows. So I don't know how long it's going to take us to drive home.
From where?
Florida. So we'll be landing at Cape Canaveral and then driving home.
You're in the space shuttle?
Yes. Actually, we're on the Love Boat. The Love Boat. Let's see. I thought Sydney was going to try to log in.
We don't know for sure. We don't know if Michael or Alan are going to try to come over, because they didn't inform us.
Oh, okay. Well, Sydney had called me earlier today, and so.
And our IT tech hasn't had anybody but you contact, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we took the van and I'd gone and helped my sister move her bus. She had the Bear River basketball team, boys basketball team, on her bus, and she needed help backing up. So I rolled down my window on my van on the passenger side to, guide her back and everything. And then when I left, I went to roll it up and it wouldn't go up. So we took it in to get that.
Oh, no.
And he says, while you're at it, take a look and tell us, everything is wrong with it so we could start putting money into fixing it up. And I looked at the guy, his name's Norm. I says, Norm, just tell him to get me a new vehicle. And I was joking, haha, funny, right? We come back the next day to pick up the van, and Norm slides the paper forward, and then he flips it over so you see that there's writing on both sides. And he goes, yeah, you need to get our new vehicle. We've been saving up for a while, and then in November, right before my birthday,
Jay, we need another couple chairs, I think. Mike's on his way.
Mike's on his way, and
I
Alan.
don't know. Alan said yes. I asked him, are you gonna zoom in or are you going to be
And he
here?
said
And
yes.
he said yes.
Get in his car out on the street.
No, he's gonna sit in the office with his phone.
So
been there, done that.
So Mike and
Mike will be here, but you know what? I think we're
Wait
still
until they
okay,
get here
though.
to see if we need one.
Yeah.
spouse.
I think Mike's coming over. Well, I don't know.
I don't imagine Jamie.
I don't imagine Jamie's coming. We could be pleasantly surprised.
Okay, well, we have
We have several more chairs.
more chairs.
I think
than
we have a
came
quorum.
from. We have a quorum.
Definition of quorum is, but
I guess that's better than decorum.
Decorum.
So we decided that it was time. We went and looked at a vehicle down in Kaysville. It was one of those that had hail damage. And it was the, right year. We were told that it had to be 6 years or newer. It had to have less than 100,000 miles on it. And so it fit perfectly, except apparently in Utah, if you have not bought a vehicle in the last 10 years, you're classified as a new car buyer. And
Oh.
when you're a new car buyer, you cannot buy a car that has a salvage title. It has to be a clean title.
It's the bank, not the state.
Yeah. So we didn't get, thank heavens, the
the
Kia
pockmark one.
that Gary wanted. We need to get. And so we've been looking at some others. We dropped into a car lot there in Smithfield and looked in the dead of the night. Well, then one day I went to work and they didn't have anything for me to do, and so I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and leave early. And
Hi.
Oh, look, there's Alan. He's bringing food.
I was gonna
You
say,
running those on?
I was.
And bearing gifts.
It's supposedly not healthy for you to bring.
Did you
Well,
bring
that
some
is
for
what
Maggie?
I have,
She's
so.
sitting here waiting for you to serve her a bite.
I'm
Waiting,
brownies for this meeting.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
My Stephen, if you want.
That's dinner.
He ain't
okay.
after all your brothers.
Go
Pizza,
in.
pizza.
Pizza. Okay, well, if you open the top drawer, you'll find something.
so I left work and I'm driving home, and all of a sudden I get in front of Wilson Motors. There on Main Street, the superstore for the used car dealership. And I hear my dad say, turn in. Okay.
Oh, look,
Hello, it's Mike.
Come on in.
So I turned in and I went in and I said, I need something that's 6 years or newer. I need something that's got less than 100,000 miles.
Salvage title.
And I need something with clean title, and this is my budget.
Is it two-sided?
And this is,
No,
we've
she's
got-
got a liner that's supposed to reflect
I have
your body
clippers.
heat.
Oh, clippers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go get clippers.
and so
Come with me.
they took me out and
Alligator skin lining. Sparkly.
yeah. So if he wants to be a disco ball, he just turns the code inside out.
Nice.
So I sat there and he showed me all the things about it, and I'm sitting there trying to hold
Nice.
my excitement.
Jacket is sparkly on the inside. See?
I see
Can
you.
you see us, Margaret?
Conveniently located.
Yes, I can.
You said you can hear us.
I can hear you and I can see you great.
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me?
Can you hear me?
Don't
now?
worry, you'll have your potion master. After that,
I just don't know how to put me. I don't know how to put me on so you can see my face. So
You probably just have to select the camera.
Over there with dinner.
There's wings.
Already
in
ate.
for a
the
slice, does not have enough pineapple.
Don't mind then. I'll pass.
Jay, check. Sydney says that she's waiting to be admitted.
Oh,
We've been waiting.
he's been waiting. I didn't see any.
Waiting.
Oh, here we go.
How to,
Connect the
Admit.
laptop to the TV.
no, you know, well, that'd
Is
be
Rob-
nice.
All right.
But you know how to connect, how Margaret can connect her video so that.
She's on her phone.
She doesn't know how to do that.
Well, did she slide the cover on the camera?
I don't know.
Or, actually, she needs to do the front-facing camera.
Oh,
There's Sydney.
Sydney made it work.
I'm
Your
just
little
texting
sister
Rob.
knows how to do
I
it.
don't know if Rob was gonna try and log in or not.
All right.
Let's see if he answers in a couple minutes.
Like,
What's new with you, Sydney?
there's something.
You're home.
Yes, I am.
Settings she just have to toggle.
You know where it is?
On her phone,
Probably in the upper right-hand corner.
where it says settings. Looks like a little gear.
Did anyone hear from Rob?
Nope.
I haven't heard from Rob.
Okay, I just tried texting him.
Not about this.
Not
big.
But he hasn't texted me.
Dig.
Apparently
Well-
it's some kind of setting, Margaret.
Well, when I logged in, I saw the camera thing, but now I don't see it. But it's all right.
Do you see your name on the bottom left-hand corner?
Yes.
Tap on your name. And then you should see the microphone and your camera and participants, things like that. Tap on the camera. It should allow you to start showing your name, or should the video. The other thing is you can log out, leave, and then come back in, and it should show you right at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Maybe
whatever.
she doesn't wanna be-
It's all right. It's not doing. There it is.
So when you,
I think.
Well, you're probably all wondering why Mike called here today.
There she
Hey,
is.
look,
There she is.
there's Margaret.
Figured it out.
Yay.
Dad, do you want to welcome us all to family home evening?
We're gonna start doing Zoom family home evenings, huh?
Yeah, but unfortunately, make brownies, so there's no refreshment.
Oh man.
I should have. Okay, well,
I
maybe I'll start.
With the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
I thought this was a AA meeting.
You know, maybe
Not quitters.
No.
maybe we could start with prayer, actually, that we'll communicate and that we'll be able to ask some good questions and formulate the correct plan for going forward. Is everybody all right with that?
Yes.
All right.
Sounds wonderful.
All right. Jay, do you want to do that? You're
Sure.
praying on the spot.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful for family. We're grateful for this opportunity for everyone to get together. We're grateful for a good showing and for family solidarity. We pray Thy Spirit be with us and that we can be guided in the discussion and the decisions that need to be made, and may it be a good conversation, and may we take care of the business at hand and do so with the good family bonding and love that we all share. This is our prayer of gratitude, and we thank Thee for all our blessings, and this we say in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Hello, Robert, then.
I haven't heard from him.
Okay. And he could be sitting waiting to be admitted to.
I don't see any admittances.
And I haven't.
Well, and if he were waiting, he would probably contact somebody.
Well, I
and
put it through the family group so somebody noticed they could catch their phone. So,
Oh, we lost it. Oh, there she is.
all right. When we started talking about the house in general, I knew there was a lot of information that I figured that I didn't know, and I don't know what to ask. So I started doing a little bit of research, and I actually asked AI to kind of like, what am I not thinking about? What should we consider? So here is just some information that the queries that I did gave back. So this is just some broad information to say, we need to get the cogs turning. We need to understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish, and then what questions are
Did you
there?
already do a mic check? Can everybody hear?
Can everybody hear?
We've been talking. Yes.
Yes.
What? No, I have no idea. What?
Am I talking loud enough?
Yes, no?
Yes. I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Good
So
morning.
one of the questions that I have is, I am not sure that the house has a completely clear title from the old trust. We did some work on it. We had an attorney involved, but I am not 100% sure that we have actually done everything that's needed. Until the old trust is formally terminated and a clean title is recorded in Dad's name or in a new trust, and it is in a new trust, but we do need to make sure that it really is completely clear, and it could be. Then questions remain. If the original trust is still legally exists, even if the trustee vanished, which is the case, a future buyer or title company could insist on tracking down successors to that trustee or getting a court order. So this, without having a clear title, we have trouble. So we need to check into that. The attorney's paperwork showing the trust contract was broken is helpful, but usually not enough by itself for title insurance companies. Most families in this exact situation end up filing a quiet title action or petition to terminate the trust in probate court.
Is that quit title or?
It says quiet title. So I don't know what the quit claim is, something else, but quiet title. So we do need to do this, and so I am trying to figure out who it is we're supposed to talk to, probably the county, to make sure, because the recommendation is we need Dad to say this is what happened So we need him around to facilitate that. If he were to pass away tomorrow, we would have more trouble with the title.
Mind.
What?
Or lose my
Or
mind.
lose your mind. So yes.
Okay.
The
Now, I'm going to back up 1 second. You say the original trust. I don't
Yes.
know anything about that. That was the house in a trust because of the personal loan? When did the house go into a trust? And why?
Okay, I think that house went into trust sometime in the 1990s. Dad put it into trust, and it was a offshore trust outside of the country. I believe offshore trust or something like that. And there was a contract, so it just was a trust company.
And the
that
trustee was who?
was Dad.
Okay.
Was the trustee.
Because you said the trustee was no longer available.
Well, the trust company. The trust company is no longer available.
Oh, the trust company is gone. Okay.
Now we have a contract. I mean, he had the paperwork and I had it looked over, and it said if he didn't pay the fees to maintain the trust was broken, and they would return the trust documents. That's what it says. Well, he stopped paying the fees after a couple of years. They never returned the documents.
Okay.
And at this point, they cannot be located. So.
Okay.
Does that?
Yes.
What you needed?
Yes.
So,
I have an understanding now.
So we took the old trust documents to an attorney and said, where do we go from here?
Okay. Have we created a new trust?
Yes, there's a new trust, and it is in Dad's name, and it's and I can get the paperwork out, but my recollection is it says the house is in trust for him till he passes away. At that point, the trust dissolves, and we have to do something different with the house.
Okay.
So we can either roll it into a new family trust, or we can do a number of other options with it.
And it's limited to the home and the property.
It's limited to the home, and it's limited to his lifetime.
Okay. Okay, now I'm up to date. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions so far?
Okay. Just to let you know, Rob will not be joining, but he's asked me to give him cliff notes later on. So he won't be joining tonight.
This is being recorded. So
okay, cool.
Okay, so
we can send it to him.
I gave the scenario that Dad's current wish was that the oldest would live there until he dies, and the house would go to the youngest. That was one of the first things that was discussed. I don't know that that's really what the plan is at this point. But there's some questions with that as far as fairness and equality, because there's one house and there is 8 of us. And so there's no way for each of us to get 1/8 the value of the home. So the problem is that if we sell the house, nobody can live there. It is, in my opinion, I think in a number of us' opinions, that it is a desirable location. It is a desirable property. So the options are sell the house and split the money when Dad's, I mean, obviously I'm talking down the road, but we would have our siblings share later on, or one of us can live there and we work out an equitable way for that sibling to have the property. So equality really is impossible in the situation that one of us gets the property, but how do we address that? So some of the suggestions that I got was that there can be what's called a life estate for the oldest brother. Dad can deed the house to a new revocable trust or LLC owned by all children. The trust grants the oldest brother a lifetime right to live there, or called a life estate. He pays the utilities, taxes, insurance, and maintains it. Then when he dies, the house would be sold and the proceeds split 8 ways, or the 6 who want to disclaim their share can gift it to the oldest brother's family. So another, it says this respects the 6 siblings' generosity without screwing them. If the oldest brother lives another 30 years and the house triples in value. So, and like I said, I'm throwing this out so that you can have some idea of the range of options that we have, because I think it's fair for you to have this information instead of just saying, well, here's what we think is best, I would like you to know what the suggestions were as I was researching this problem. Another situation that we could look at is that there could be rent to own at a discounted rate. The eldest pays dad or the trust something affordable. A portion is treated as rent. A portion reduces a below market purchase price. When the oldest dies or moves out, his estate or children get whatever equity he built up. The rest reverts to all the siblings or is sold. Another option is someone could buy everyone else out at a family discount. We could get appraisals. Someone could buy the house today for 70 to 80% of the fair market value, paid out over time or with a private mortgage from the siblings. Someone would, so they would get a life estate or a subsidized lease back, so to still live there, which is clean title-wise, but it requires that everyone else be extremely patient, and that person has to have financing. So I said, what do you think is the best way to handle this situation with the least number of problems? So first of all, address the title, get the title cleaned up, and the father should pay if possible. And then have a meeting, which we're doing right now, and everyone gets their say of what they think, and then put the options on the table in writing and reach a consensus. So it goes on. The current plan that the house is gifted to one sibling and everyone else walks away is incredibly kind. So don't let that kindness get erased by a plan that ignores it. So, for example, if we establish the property is worth $80,000, if the property were sold to an outside party, the proceeds would be divided 8 ways. The oldest brother is going to move into the house and wants to own and have title to the property. That's the current situation that we're trying to resolve. But like I said, I wanted to give other options. The oldest brother is going to move into the house and wants to own and have title to the property. So the siblings are there siblings who are willing to donate their share of the value of the house to the oldest brother. He, as purchaser of the house, would owe the father $10,000 for his share of the house and $10,000 for any share of siblings who do not wish to donate their share of the property. So going on, the house can be sold or transferred by dad or his estate, and then the siblings can sign a quitclaim deed deeding their interest directly to the sibling who is taking the property. This is recorded at the same time as the sale or deed from the dad to the oldest brother. I think this would require a mortgage, and then we would any siblings who don't want to donate their share would receive their cut of the value of the property that we have established. So, because if we are not donating our share of the property, it's today's value. If we wait until dad dies for that need to be paid out, you create a situation where the brother lives in the house for years, essentially owing anyone else 10,000, their sibling share, with no paperwork securing it, and paying it up front makes the title 100% clean with no liens or future claims. So, so this is a situation that, so this is commonly done with estate attorneys and title companies, where one sibling keeps the house, some gift, and some want their share. So anyway, so I said, what are the problems that we could be looking at that blow up family house buyouts, even when everyone's happy today? One issue is that Alan has brought up, in fact, a couple of siblings have brought up, that if there's medical needs or long-term care that's needed, if dad were to need nursing home care, gifting or selling the house for under fair market value, can be treated as a fraudulent transfer and delay or disqualify Medicaid. And there's some qualifications for that, and we do need to look into that for sure to see what that is, because we don't want to run into that situation. There's also capital gains for the for the gifting siblings. When you gift your share instead of selling, the older brother's basis in their portions is 0%, is $0. If he sells the house later for $200,000, he could owe $30,000 to $40,000 in capital gains tax that could have been avoided if everyone sells their share now. So that's, again, if we're saying we want our share now. So we need to, what this is referring to is that there can be capital gains involved. We need to.
With gifting.
So whatever we do, we want to do something that would minimize capital gains for anybody. So there would also be, there could potentially be problems. And so if Gary were to try and get a mortgage on the house in any way, there's going to need to be a clean title. And if we have this gifting situation, it does not make it a clear situation. Also, the trust might get out of sync. So dad's will says divide the house 8 ways, but the house is already gone. So that can create some problems there. And in-laws can change their mind or get divorced and claim my spouse gave away my community property interest. So whatever we do, the spouses will also need to be on board and sign the paperwork so that everyone is on board and it avoids that legal situation. So there's a problem with property taxes and homestead exemptions. Some states reassess the house, and that can jack up the property taxes. And another problem was future fights over mom or dad paid for renovations. The oldest lives there 20 years and puts $100,000 into the house, and someone says we only agreed to $80,000 value back then, and the house is worth way more now, and so you owe me more. And so we need to establish, like I said, we need to establish values. So we do need to make sure we resolve capital gains, gift tax forms, Medicaid, and title company headaches. And this will probably involve an attorney or somebody, a real estate situation, so that we are guided in what needs to happen. So those are some of the problems that we're looking at, and the question really is how do all of us feel about one person moving into the house and having the house, and because like I said, the bottom line is there's one house and there's 8 of us. and there's not going to be an awful lot of other
Property.
value. I mean, Dad will have some other things and some other assets, I'm assuming, that would get divided 8 ways upon his death. I mean, we will divvy up his checking account and stuff like that. But
it's the primary valuable property.
yes, it is. It really is the one
only
asset. It's really the only asset. So.
Okay. You did throw the number 80 out. Is that the current valuation, or is
No,
that for
I'm just
ease of
doing
number?
Yes,
Okay.
just to make it be easy to understand.
Okay.
I talked to my real estate agent about 6 months ago as we were talking about various properties and could we sell it. And he said to me, any house in Lewiston 6 months ago had a value of $250,000 if you were willing to wait long enough for the right buyer to come along. So.
Okay. I was just, because I thought I remembered you saying it was, yeah, anyway.
So.
Just for ease of math.
Anyway.
Okay.
So we would need to agree on a value, but that would also be something we would want to be guided in, because when you're undervaluing a property like this, then again, we're raising some problems, some possible situations with capital gains and other things. So that's my piece of all of this is, this is what I see as what needs to be resolved. And so what questions does everyone have? What are your thoughts? And I'll let Gary speak because he is the one who's going to be moving in. And so how do we want?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Could we avoid all this if Dad would say, I'm not going to split it 8 ways. I'm going to do what I want with it because it's my property. I'm going to give it to Gary. And so we can avoid all the legal problems, headaches.
As far as I know, that is something that Dad could do. However, he would need a will. It would need to be signed. And we would probably still need a document from everyone else saying we will accept this, because what my research is saying.
To accept it? It's his property.
Because let's say 5 years from now, Rob says, I wasn't in on that meeting. I didn't hear that. I want my share. I didn't agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stories you read online and things, it's usually having and talk about people contesting a will for whatever reason they are. Mm-hmm. Yes, if he were to do that, it should be straightforward legal. Can people, at a minimum, do nothing but drag it out and force legal fees and everything for everybody involved, stating they claim that maybe it wasn't done properly, mm-hmm. is frequently done.
So yes, we're all kumbaya and we're family, and we would say, I mean, I would hope that as a family we would all abide by whatever Dad says, but what is being suggested to me is if we agree as siblings that we know what the situation is and how the division will occur, that will avoid problems in the future.
And you said something about spouses.
Yes.
So say down the road, you and Jamie end up divorced. She can go to court and say, well, he gave away our share of the house.
Yeah.
Well,
and the house is now worth.
Or for you two that have exes, how long were you married? Legally, do they have a standing in saying something like that? I don't know, but.
Well, if the house were to continue to increase in value, that scenario could be more likely that, oh, wow. Again, so you're saying, well, right now, because I've asked everybody, does anybody want to live there? And everybody's like, no functioning plumbing and almost not functioning electricity. And, but again, when Gary puts 20 years into it and makes it be a super nice place to live, and you're like, well, that's not fair. So.
I'm glad you brought that up, Michael, about the specificity from Dad. Not knowing the value of the home, not knowing the value of his other assets. It could be that the home is Gary's fair share of the total assets, and everything else would be divided out without him.
Correct.
That just is, it raised the, so Anyway,
And in some families, I do believe that's what they do. So there's plenty of assets and there's somebody who wants the home. And
Yeah.
so it's divided up in other ways. And
As
so,
long as his liquid assets don't
Yeah.
get depleted.
yes, or
mhm.
somebody gets the Lamborghini and somebody gets the vacation home and somebody gets
Gets
the
the
yacht
Volkswagen.
and, you know, all of those kinds of things. So,
Okay.
Where was all this when I was growing up? I have no clue.
I'm
I'm lost. Where's the Lamborghini?
You were too little to know.
well, I do know I carried in a honey jar today and Dad said it was full of quarters. So it was very heavy. So there's got to be at least $200 worth of quarters in a honey jar somewhere in the basement.
Somewhere.
Now I know it's
almost
not
what
because I was like,
the honey is cost.
I know. Oh, by the way, there is a sibling share of honey.
Yeah, we had a gallon jar
Salt.
full of coins
Salt.
after your mother died. And I took it to the bank and they run it through a counter and there was over $900 in that gallon jar of change.
Wow.
Yeah.
It adds up.
I remember one time I took Gary's. He had one of those Tupperware sandwich containers filled with coins
In his toolbox.
in his toolbox. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I took it to the bank and cashed it in, and it was like over $35. So yeah, you'd be surprised how fast it adds up.
And those are old quarters, so they might be
Yeah, there
worth
could be
even
some,
more.
could be some silver in it,
Yeah.
dimes. And
What other questions or concerns does everybody have?
I mean, honestly, my first thought is to make sure that Dad's taken care of until he passes. So if anything happens, how are we, something happens and he can't live with you anymore, Kyoko, and he needs to go, Lord forbid, to like assisted living. How's that gonna work? Because right now, I know I can't sell my house, but that's the biggest asset. So that's where I would think the most sense would come, is to sell the property to take care of Dad.
Yeah.
Have we thought of that? And
That question has been raised a number of times. Dad, do you want to respond to that in any way? About needing to go into a care home?
Long-term care.
Long-term care. So let's say you get
What's
dementia
called-
in 2 years and you can't live here anymore. Or you fall down and break your hip and you can't get up and down the stairs anymore. You need to go to a nursing home.
I don't know what the situation would be. Because I'm thinking about having a thing that says do not resuscitate.
and DNR.
And I don't plan on having big operations. When it's my time, I'm not going to cause big bill, big money problems just to keep me alive.
So your plan is to say, if I were to become injured or ill, I want to go on hospice and have palliative care.
Either that or do it like they do it with the Eskimos. You just take them out and
Leave them on an
put 'em on an
iceberg somewhere and a
ice floe.
polar bear comes along and eats you.
I don't know if I have coyotes out here, but that might not be as good. I don't know.
Oh, I could drop
Probably not as quick.
things up in Yellowstone. I understand they dissolve things pretty quick.
The options are what? Long-term care, if you have long-term care insurance, or hospice, or you stay home.
Or you have Medicare. You can get Medicare to kick in, and Jay's right in the throes of all of that with his dad. And how do they handle assets to try and cover? Because his dad is to a point now where he really kind of needs.
So Dad has Medicare.
Yes.
Will help with.
Well, and that's one of
care?
the things that we need to check into. And I don't know what your Medicare does. I don't know if it covers long-term care. So I don't know. We ought to look into that. That's a question that we should look into. But keeping the house, one of the options I would think for that. I mean, the problem is that we need to decide now, is this asset going to stay dad's, which would mean if he needed long-term care, we would sell the house and then Gary would just have to leave? Or do we make the decision? I mean, I think it's a decision we have to make. Does Gary own the house or not? So, and are we going to cross that bridge if dad were to need care and need more funding to cover that? I do think that there's ways to set it up so that we could hopefully get Medicaid assistance.
Not be forced to sell his assets.
Well, and if it's not his asset, but setting it up properly so
Correct.
that he hasn't sold his asset in such a way or transferred his asset in such a way that he would preclude him from having the assistance, government assistance. So we do have that he is a veteran on our side, I think. I think that does help with
Yes.
some stuff.
I don't know what the veteran administration does for long-term care, though.
Okay.
It's not a question I've ever asked.
Okay, and
So,
maybe that's a question that we ought to look into, is what would that option be?
because right now the biggest problem we have is it's his primary asset. It has the most value, and we're looking at possibly transferring it out of his control, so it's no longer his asset. What if he needs a value of that level to take care of him in the next 5 or 8, 10 years? Will the VA be any benefit? I don't know. We need to find out.
Okay. I mean, I think it is a very viable question, and medical costs do add up super fast. But I did know that I've known from our discussions over and over again that your plan is not to want to go into a long-term, how can I use Western medicine to prolong my life? You would be saying, well, this is going to suck for me for a while, but
it'll be over.
It'll be, hospice
Okay.
is the option that you would be most interested in.
So Medicare will cover a hospice situation. If you're going to look at a facility, then Medicaid is what you want to qualify for, because Medicaid is going to help cover that kind of a situation. I mean, the cheapest one out here is $4,000 a month. So, and then they go up from there.
Yeah.
Medicaid helps cover that cost, but if your intention is to stick with a hospice, then Medicare, as I understand it, is good enough to take care of that situation. And we have Medicare already in play that's working for you.
And as far as I know, Medicare, like your dad, they're looking at saying it will cover for 6 months at least, right? I think
it goes ongoing, but we're still pursuing a facility kind of an option. And so we might have to pay for a while until Medicaid paperwork kicks in, and then it can kind of come in and contribute. But so if you want to look at not disqualifying the Medicaid option, I guess that's going to be a question for the lawyer, is how do we, so if the decision is no, we're not really serious about looking into a facility option, then I don't know that we're going to try and pursue a Medicaid thing, but then you're locking yourself into a situation where if you do certain things with the house that disqualify the Medicaid being an option, then maybe we don't care. I'm just saying.
Because in the case of your dad, they're trying to figure out how to do this without selling their house, right?
Right.
Because they're wanting to control their house.
Well, their house is in a trust, so they can't touch it anyway because
Yeah.
it's been in a trust for decades or whatever.
Is this the house in Trenton?
No, it's in Logan where he's living right
Oh.
now with his
current wife.
So, so I guess if you're going to gift the house and everyone's going to gift their share or whatever, get it in Gary's name or figure out a new trust situation or whatever that looks like are the questions I think you're going to want to ask. Legal questions are going to involve. How does that affect a potential future?
Yeah. One of the things that I have thought could help with at least part of this is saying that the house would stay in trust until Dad passes away and that we make a decision at that point. But that could really run into capital gains. So again, I mean, but that does not answer this question of if the house remains in trust, but Gary's living there, it means that we can't sell it from underneath him and say, well, Dad needs to go into a rest home. So that's to be you, but get out. We're going to sell the house to take care of him. So I think that we would need as siblings, if there were some extended needs for care for Dad, that we would need to reach an agreement that as a family, we would cover those costs. So outside of what his income is. So.
Now on that, if it is, and these are all questions that need to be answered. If it remains in trust, Gary assumes the responsibility for maintenance, for insurance, for taxes and things. But does he need to pay the trust even a partial rent?
But I think that's one of the questions that we can address.
So.
Do we, as siblings, do we feel like he should pay a rent situation? Now, I personally feel like Gary would be responsible for the taxes at this point. I know there is not insurance on the house, but we might say, I don't know whether we would want to require that, or that's just something that you want to decide if you're going to obtain insurance on the house.
I think we would need insurance.
So, I mean, our house insurance here is $1,300 a year. So, I mean, it's not an instant. I don't know what yours is. I mean, ours goes through the escrow.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is. It's escrow.
I just saw our notice the other day, so that's how come I know what it is.
Yeah.
So we
mine's about that much too. It's about $1,300, I think.
Okay. So my question would be the purpose for, if Gary were to pay rent, what would the purpose for paying the rent be? I mean, I'm just asking that.
Yeah,
that's a question that we can answer for
because everybody does.
Because everybody does. I will. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just say this. The condition of the house. Do you want a turn? Any other questions? And then we'll kind of let Gary.
I mean, the condition of the house, it's going to require significant financial investment to improve the condition from poor to even
tolerable,
even adequate.
So, and that has been one of my biggest concerns. And
actually, as we were talking, just crossed my mind. At least initially, he can go, okay, based on our agreement of this amount of rent a month, I've just put $6,000 into refurbishment. Because a lot of times a renter will reduce rent for work done, for maintenance on the lawn, for repairing small things, that kind of thing. And so that could be an avenue of addressing that, at least in the short term, until a final decision on what we're going to do with it. And I think that's fair to say, okay, I don't know I don't know what rent in Lewiston is, but let's just go with $500 a month. But he's put $6,000 into it. We're now looking at a year's worth of rent been paid.
Mm-hmm. And then how does that impact in the future? Are we saying this is impacting siblings' share or the
valuation
value or in the future? I mean, because like I said, I'm not asking anyone to say I'm walking away from my share of the house, but that we do need to clarify what that is going to look like and what value is it going to be based on. And I do really feel like it needs to be based on the value of the house as it stands at this moment.
Or at the time the final decision is made. We're not going to make a decision tonight.
Well, exactly. But I think it still ought to be the condition of the house before any work is done on it.
Mm-hmm. Before he puts significant monies into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first we need evaluation.
Yeah, so we would need to agree on that. And I think that it is not wise for us to actually have an appraisal. Because I think we could run into some problems because it does not meet code. And I think that we will run into some issues if someone were to appraise the house and say,
condemn.
Yes.
You cannot live like that. You must do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
And report that to the authorities.
Yes, and then we're going to come in and we are going to do an assessment, and now we're going to raise the value of this house to $370,000, and now you can pay property taxes on that.
But can't live in.
So I think that I think we would just need to come up with an evaluation.
One simple way to do it is say, well, the house is not good. Mm-hmm. What would be the value of the property?
Mm-hmm. And it's an improved property.
And it's an improved property.
Yeah.
And that would be quite easy to. That's one option.
What did you actually pay for the house, Dad?
$10,000.
$10,000. So property plus 10.
What year? 70. What year?
In 72.
72.
Yeah, we moved there in 73. Robert was 16 years old.
No.
I thought we moved in 72, Christmas of 72.
I thought that's when we moved in also.
It was definitely Christmas.
Yes, we did before Christmas.
So.
And I'm 53 years old.
Before my time. This is before my time.
Is Robert trying to get in?
He said he was trying, but he hasn't texted me again.
Okay.
I just noticed the text, so but
No.
And no.
What comments do you have, Gary?
well, when this was first, when we were first approached about it, I had a couple of initial thoughts. The first is this, Dad said, I want you to have the house, and my thought is, do you really? The second thought is, what does everybody else think? Because, again, this is our inheritance, and yes, I understand that. Okay, so, it's worth $2,000 or, whatever. And so you divide that 8 ways, it's,
$20,000.
We're going to get 20 grand. And realistically, what is $20,000? Well, I certainly wouldn't turn it down. But, today, what can you do with that? The third thought that I had is, and I will say it this way, it was a selfish thought because my my thought this way was, well, if this is what the consensus is, I want to be able to have title to the property, to the house, because that's what I would want to be able to leave to my family. And I don't want to steal anybody else's inheritance. And so that was just the thinking that I had is if somebody was, really adamant and said, I want my share, okay, well we'll figure that out. But as has been said, if we live there for 20 years and we put $100,000 into it, I want that to be able to be the inheritance of my family. And so how do we go about all of that? I mean, if that's not, if the consensus is no, we don't want you to have it, then I guess we'll figure something out, because yes, right now we're not locked in, but we're kind of, that's where we're.
You've taken 5 steps down that road already.
Yeah, we're already looking at, that's where we're going to be there in July, because that's when our contract in our current rental is up in July. So we either have to renew the contract for another year, or we need to find another place to live. And if that's where we're headed, then that's where we're going. And so, but again, the thing is no, I don't want to short Dad. I don't want to, steal from Dad. I don't want to short the family. I don't want to steal from the family. But on the other side of that is, yeah, it's going to take
a
lot of time and effort and energy and money to get it to where it's in good shape. And if I have to pay, a $1,500 a month mortgage, there's no way in hell I can fix the house. So I'm not trying to say that it's one or the other, but it really is kind of one or the other. It's either we pay mortgage, pay rent, whatever, or we make the family homestead a livable place again.
And you poured money into the money pit.
Yes. I mean, it just is. But again, I don't want to, I want everybody to be, I want everybody to be okay with what the decisions are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even at some point down the road, that house is going to be sold. So we have to do something with it for a clear title now. Whether it's sold next year or 10 years or 50 years or whatever.
And one of the things that my research did bring up was that at the point where you decide to sell it, there could be a clause that says a portion of that would be distributed to whoever wanted a portion.
And that certainly.
And
So basically a delayed payment.
Yes.
And
But
so
there's a way to work that in without all of these other legality problems that can come up, but that at whatever point the family sells it, that there would be some portion that would come to either the siblings or the siblings.
And so that's really what it comes down to. The way I was the way I was looking at it is, I want to make sure whatever the decision is, that everybody feels like they're going to be okay with it. And yes, I certainly want to make sure that Dad's taken care of. That's, first and foremost. I want to make sure that all of us are taken care of. Okay, that's important, And I want to, if the decision is made that, that the singular asset of Leland and Irene Weatherston goes to Gary Weatherston and his family, that everybody's okay with that.
Like I said,
excuse me.
Go ahead.
I don't think he would pay any rent when he moves in. He needs his cash to fix it. I think one of the simplest things is to agree on a value and
I think that would be really wise that we agree on a value.
Right. And we just arbitrarily agree on a value and say, I either want my portion at some point in the future, or
I don't.
I will walk away and make whatever is the easiest thing. I mean, the goal tonight is to decide.
Well, or the goal tonight for me really is just to present these problems. There's this situation and say there are some. We may have even what questions are we not thinking about? And how do we figure this situation out? If we are going to transfer the house to Gary, how do we go about doing this? Who do we need to contact? How will we take care of this? And so those are, it has to go one step further than that. And I have to admit, I am totally clueless. I have no idea who we call. I do know that we will need legal papers drawn up.
Okay. So. I was going to say, I think what we need, we've got some questions that need answered before any decision can be made. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, valuation. Second, the legal exchange of the trust to the title to the, where we're going to go with that. Mm-hmm. Third, Dad's long-term care plan. And there are several things that are involved with there. Learning more about the Medicare, Medicaid situation, which you are already learning more about for us throughout that. I will take the VA question.
Okay.
And find out if there's anything because I don't know, is the VA involved in any way with long-term care type thing?
I will try to get the question answered as to the trust and the title.
And
because I have those papers.
Because of your bringing up, we have a timeline here. I think that we need to probably have another one of these in about 30 days.
Probably.
By then, hopefully you'll have an answer to a trust. You might have more information about Medicaid. I will certainly try to have a VA question answered about long-term care. And by then, we should at least have some basis on valuation, whether it's just researching other properties of a similar size and condition, and just ballpark it. I don't know if not being down here, I don't know anybody. I don't know if anybody knows someone that they would trust to do an informal valuation without doing any legal paperwork.
I don't think that, like Kilko says, I don't think that's something we even want to touch. I don't think we want to bring anybody in. I mean, we were there Saturday and we were moving some stuff, and Kilko pointed and said, "Those are exposed wires."
Right.
And the kitchen drain drains out a hole in the side of the wall. I mean, there's problems.
I don't know that we want to bring anybody outside in, even on an informal basis.
And that's an
I've got a
acceptable
couple
answer.
of clients that I could ask to look at it from Google Maps and say,
Okay.
we're looking to
Yeah,
do evaluation.
which is what her
Because
real
my
estate
idea
guy
was
did.
the house isn't worth much, and if
But the property is.
but the property's worth something, but if Medicaid forces Dad to sell it to pay for long-term care, that's a question we need to answer.
Yes,
But-
well, and we need to know how to navigate that, so if we're transferring the property, then what do we need to do to figure that out?
So because there is value with the property, I would live there and build. I would build on it on the property. I would live in Lewiston there. I would live it.
Do you want to tear it down and
I would.
rebuild?
Let the fire
A new
department come.
structure.
Let the fire department come practice and haul away the rubble. I would build out there.
Well, that would be another question, because I don't know that Lewiston would allow that to happen.
Yes, I'm just being.
Like to. Yeah.
That's not that. I mean, I would. But I'm interested. I would build on if it was a dirt and improved. I'm interested in living there. I would move out there and rent my house. I would build on it and rent my house. So,
Well, Gary, would you please explain the discussion you're having with Marilyn?
The neighbor?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things that we know is, if you all remember, the property line in the back to the west goes to about the trees. And if you remember, that shed that was behind the house, that chicken coop thingy, we used that to store stuff in, and we used that property ever since we moved in. And my thought was to actually be able to lay claim to that property legally. Now,
Explain the problem to the north as well.
it has been said that because we've used it, we could actually go to court and have a judge say, yes, you've used it, that property, kind of on a squatter's deal, that property is yours. I don't want to do that, okay, because I don't want one of Maryland's kids to come back and say, you stole that property.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to buy it from her. Okay, and
And
my thought was just to go.
Explain the reason why you need to go to the north, though.
I want to be able to go to the field. So we're looking at probably another 30 or 40 feet from the existing property line, which is the trees, back to the field.
To the west.
Yeah, to the west.
Okay.
The other thing that I was looking at is pushing the property line to the north. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. If you look on the county survey, it shows the property lines. It shows how big the property is, how many square feet, etc. The property line literally is this far from the house.
From the end of the garage.
From the end of
on
the
the north
garage.
side.
Okay.
So it
And
goes right along the driveway.
The
Well,
driveway's not on the
Yeah,
property.
the inside of the driveway.
Yeah.
yeah, that house was built 100 years ago. My guess is that either the guy who built the house owned all of it, or
Well,
they didn't care.
There was one house built and the other part moved in, and then they added the garage.
The problem is your property line didn't include the driveway to get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
No access.
There's no access to it. The other interesting thing is the septic tank. Remember, the septic tank is right there in front of the window.
Mm-hmm.
The drain field goes off that way, off the property
Into the neighbor's
Probably
property,
about
the drain
50
field.
Is that northeast?
Northwest.
to the northwest.
To the northwest.
To the northwest.
Okay, so it
Probably
drains off the property.
50 or 60 feet off
onto somebody else's property. I mean, it happened to be Maryland's, but it doesn't. It's not on our property. It never has been, and so I would also like to purchase about 20 or 30 feet. I mean, it'd be cool if I could go a lot farther than that, but I don't know about money and finances and stuff like that if I can do that, but to at least go 20 or 30 feet to the north.
To own the driveway and the septic
to
drain.
Own the driveway, own the septic drain field, and of course there's also kind of a future thought of, well, maybe we can, expand in that corner just a little bit. Well, in order to do that, we got to move the septic tank. And if we do that, then we can run the septic tank
Properly.
easier, more like it's supposed to be, yes. And so, we're looking at, and I have talked to Marilyn about it, and in principle, she is agreeable to it. So, it's just a matter of seeing what
She's
property
trying to
is
find out
worth.
how much her
And
property's worth.
Okay, well,
And
that may be something.
And then approach her with an
That,
offer.
I mean, that would be something separate from the current valuation of the asset.
Yeah.
That, I mean, yeah, you need to pursue that, absolutely.
But
But that's contingent
yeah.
on us giving him access and control and
Yes,
ownership
it's almost
of that
necessary
property.
for him to move in and be there, because otherwise it's a real problem.
So, well, what I'm saying is our decision has to be made before you can go forward in any way on that.
Right.
So, okay. Well, I think we need to have another meeting in about a month, giving us all of us that have questions that need to be answered. And because of the timeline where you have your lease and whatnot, I think we need to be prepared to at least have an initial consensus at the next meeting of, yes, we'll allow him to take control and ownership, and we'll deal with Dad's long-term situation in another way, if that becomes needful, and the siblings need to have at least an initial. If I want a portion, do I want it up front or after the fact? Or I'm just deeding it, or, that sort of type of a question. And those conversations amongst the siblings may need to be discussed with spouses.
Should be.
About the situation. So I think we need to come back, reconvene with those types of questions prepared to be answered. We probably don't need to have a total lockdown, probably for another maybe month. But I think within 60 days, because when's your lease up?
July.
Beginning or end?
End.
Okay, so we have until July 31st, which is 5 months from now. We're going to lose one for this initial thing. I don't think we'll be able to have a total consensus in 30 days, but I think the next meeting, we need to have an answer for Gary. Mm-hmm. That gives him 90 days to complete his process of switching, doing his thing. So it is something that needs to be addressed in a timely manner. I think we have 30 to 60 days to do it.
And I'm assuming that you're still going to kind of start the process, because I'm assuming that we're going to come to a consensus that you can agree. With, because they can't wait 60 to 90 days to start working on.
Correct.
That.
Well, and so actually, the question for the 6 of us that are on this line, do we anticipate, and this isn't an anticipate, are we okay with Gary assuming that he's going to get possession and move forward with his repairs and renovations, making that assumption that in 30 days, if something changes, we can stop him? I'm okay with him moving forward.
Me too.
I'm okay with
I'm okay with him moving forward.
Maggie, or was that me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was Maggie or
Yes, it was Maggie.
I was Maggie or Sydney. You're it.
Oh, both.
Okay.
Is that what? Is that here? I was waiting for.
Sydney?
I,
Do you have a response?
I'm next.
And
I'm
it's
next.
okay to say I'm
Yes,
not okay.
I'm ready moving forward. I think there's a value there that we can agree on, and whether it's upfront or over time. Because what I think in my own mind is, I would live there. I would take it for free if you guys would have gifted it to me. There is a dollar amount that I would buy everybody out. That I'm still interested in the dirt. But I'm not going to live in the house. And Gary can live there for the next 10 years for free, for all I care. As long as we come up with the value or something, not a lot.
Okay, so you would be looking for a sibling share then, if I'm understanding correctly, and that's okay.
Yes, but that isn't my point. My point is, if you're going to be gifted it, then I'm interested in it too. I want to be gifted it because I want the dirt. But there's also an amount that I would buy my siblings out.
And I think you said to me it wasn't much.
And,
well, and so if Gary puts $100,000 into it and expects it to go to his family, then
I think we agree on a value on the dirt because that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the house.
Well,
So
that's-
you're saying
An appropriate discounted value on the dirt.
I'm not looking for a number right now. That's not
Correct. I'm not
Okay.
even that.
okay. So I see your
What I-
point. What you're trying to
what
say.
I want to make sure of is, and it's okay, you would be wanting a sibling share.
That's what it boils down
Okay.
to. But
We just
Yes.
would need to figure out on what that would be and when that would need to be done. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But going back to the initial question is, we can't make him wait 30 to 60 days and do nothing until we find out the answers to these questions and make a final decision. Are you okay with him? Assume, and it's one of those, we kind of have to assume he's going to end up in possession if he's going to spend the time, effort, money, energy of making it habitable.
And I think that we can trust that we can come up with an agreement that we can all be happy with. That you will not say, well, I just got bent over. Well, maybe you have already gotten bent over with this situation, but I'm like, hey, would you like to live in Dad's house?
But you're not saying you're interested in the dirt because you keep saying you would build a new house there. I mean, you're not wanting the property
As is.
as well.
I won't move out to live in the house. I would not move out to live in the house. I would be interested in the property. Yes.
That's what you keep saying. So you're saying you don't want necessarily Gary's family to have it. After he dies, you might want to possibly have.
Oh yeah, that's
have
an
the
option.
property.
Yes, that's an option. But if he puts $100,000 into it, then the house is worth something. But I still probably wouldn't want to live there, even with all the upgrades, all the great upgrades you'll do. I mean, I'd want to kind of make it mine. So.
And Dad, one of the feelings that I've had about this is in the decision making. How does that impact you as far as saying, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who am I going to give my house to?
And you've already said, Gary.
So So I mean, if you play it out, then I'm not saying I'm forcing, but and I don't, and I wouldn't. But you know, if I say I want to share, then someone, you know, another person would say, well, I want my share, so I want to force him to, you know, do whatever. But that nobody understood that. Just rewind, take that back.
So what you're saying is, if you said I want my sibling share, that might
Create a domino effect.
yes, where
I
Rob says,
I
well, I want my sibling share
I
too.
suppose so. Yes. What it boiled down to after Gary talked to me, I said, because he said, "Are you okay with nothing?" And I said, "Yeah, whatever, that's fine." What it boiled down to is, I'm interested in it for nothing. If he gets for nothing, but there's a value I value it at. So, but to answer your question, yes. So that means I would be interested in a sibling share. Then, is if I would, well, I would buy the dirt. It's
Well, and I don't feel like Gary is getting it for nothing. Gary is getting it for
A headache.
the biggest nuisance value. You know, I'm just like,
Yes.
wow. The more we've emptied, the more I've said, boy, I'm glad I don't live here.
Now, we've kind of assigned a few tasks, VA and
Wait.
whatnot. Well, I was going to say, find out what the property's worth.
yeah.
You-
I have
and
a
come to
real
the
estate
Come to the next meeting
appraisal friend
with a number.
who could look at it on Google Maps and say,
This piece of dirt.
because that's what Marcy said too. You know, we should get an evaluation on the lot and base whatever, you know, sibling evaluation is on the lot. It's an
Okay.
improved lot. If there's no house, what would it sell for? It would sell for quite a bit, but he still can have quite a big discount on that.
All right, and I think that's a very reasonable thing to know, is what really is the value of the lot, and I appreciate that. That's
Because that's
So if you come
making
to
the
the next
assumption
meeting
that
with
the
that.
house
Yes.
itself
Okay.
is
I will.
basically worthless.
Yes. What? I didn't catch that.
The lot value is basically an assumption that the house itself is pretty much has
Yes.
no.
It's
Has
worth
no
$10,500.
well, and,
10,000.
and would we need to include, if it were just a lot, then how much would it cost to tear that house down and move it off, and that would come off of the value of that? Would that be fair to say? That there would be, or is it just the value of the lot that you would have to,
Cost.
that would be a demo, you know, do we discount it further before it has the cost? Or you just say, well, you know, you buy it and you buy the shed.
I think the number we're going to come up. I think the number we'll give him is going to be
just the lot.
no, is going to be quite discounted anyway.
Uh-huh.
I mean the lot is worth $80,000 or $90,000.
I would think so. That's where I've had it, is that I really think that the lot is worth.
If there was no house on it,
$100,000.
and it had the
Well, I think it would be worth. It's worth that even with the house on it.
so quite a discounted rate. I mean, half that. That's really. I mean, that would be my budget. If Gary wasn't moving there, and I would be like, well, I can get a mortgage. I can buy some. I can pay my savings out for $40,000-$50,000.
Okay.
And that's what the dirt would be worth to me.
All right. Are there any other comments about this particular aspect? I do have one more thing I would like to bring up, if we're done.
Well, I would like to just kind of get a feel of who would at this particular point be desirous of a sibling share.
I'm going to say I can't answer that question right now.
Okay, and that's fair too.
I've said all along I'm willing to donate our sibling share.
I don't want to sit on chair.
That leaves you two on the cameras.
What?
Maggie and Sydney, do you have a?
Honestly, it has been a little bit anxiety ridden for me. I don't know. I cannot honestly answer because I'm still wrangling with the thought of it not being dad's house anymore, mom's house anymore. So I honestly cannot answer. What I can say is I know we're a family, and I know families support each other, and I don't want mom and dad's legacy to end in squabbles, because mom and dad raised us to love, support, and give to one another. When somebody needed help, somebody was always there. And that's what I want it to continue to be. If it's giving, if it's saying, yes, Gary, because right now, I don't know about anybody else, but I own my home. Yes, I'm still paying a mortgage on it, but you don't have that for yourself, Gary. And I would love for you to have a home. Not rent, not anything else, but a home, even if it's a money trap, and I want to say that my big brother has a home. I would love to say that because I love my home. I just don't know exactly how to answer the question of a sibling's share right now.
And that's okay. All I was looking for, just kind of an initial feel, kind of where everybody was at, because everybody is different, and everybody is okay to say whatever it is that they're thinking. I'm not looking to say to use you as an example, okay? Not throwing you under the bus, nothing, but Alan wants his share, so we gotta, we've got to do that, or everybody is going to not demand their share, and so whatever it is you're thinking, you're feeling, it's okay.
My sister drives the bus.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say something else, but now I can't remember.
It's worth it to me. It's worth it to me.
Well, pause a second. Maggie, you were the only one that hasn't given at least an initial answer of yes, no, or I don't know.
I would not pursue. I wouldn't pursue a sibling share.
Now that's everybody.
All right. Sydney, were you going to say something?
Maybe a sibling share of honey. Maybe a sibling share of honey and salt.
Tinctures. Where's all the tinctures?
Vodka.
Yeah.
Sugar is there too.
Yes, there's definitely sugar. You need brown sugar, there's a lot. Sydney, were you going to say something?
Sugar.
I was, it's just, I do not mind Gary moving in. I would rather dad's house, stay in the family as long as there's a need of it. So right now, Gary, I don't mind if Gary moves in and doesn't pay rent on it. If he wants to do that, I don't have a problem with it. Now, just the splitting of the inheritance and everything, I still am trying to wrap my brain around it. But I would rather, because it is there. Yes, it's there. I would rather have somebody live in it that needs a home than tear it down or get rid of it. Because I know how hard it is, housing is right now.
I looked the other day. The factory home place on the highway. I stopped there just out of curiosity and asked them, got some of their information. The houses on that lot were $300,000, $400,000.
That come in half.
Yeah.
They deliver in halves.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not worth that in 10 years. They don't increase in value.
And see, the thing is, I'm 60 years old. I can't do that.
I think because it has some value to me, because I am interested in a certain dollar amount, then yes, because I'm interested at a certain amount, then yes, I would be interested in my civil share. Because otherwise, I would like to buy it. Otherwise, I would buy the property at whatever amount that I can afford, which breaks down to my 8 sibling share, and that's fine too. I'm okay with that.
And then I don't have a problem.
And I don't think you should pay rent unless for some reason, unless Dad, I don't know. No, I don't think you should pay rent. You and Dad can decide on rent if he happens to need some cash flow. Then that's between you guys. You live there for free and upgrade the property. Marcy and I talked about it, but I think the valuation is the property at a discounted rate, at half or whatever it is. So.
But like I said, there are some problems with that as far as legality, as far as Medicaid goes,
Right.
Medicare, as far as capital gains. So that's all something, I mean, whatever it is that we agree to, we need to traverse this carefully, because when you get into these discounts, all of a sudden, it could raise some real in the future. So we need to navigate.
The last thing I want to say about share thing, because there are 2 of us who have kind of abstained until a little more thought process. On our next meeting, we need to have an answer for the family. That's me, Sydney, and if for some reason anybody else has a change of decision or something, but we need to have a pretty much decision that will hold at our next meeting.
Okay, and so we need to somebody needs to say they would talk to Rob and give him the clip notes. So who wants to volunteer to let Rob know?
We can give him the video and listen.
We can give him the video.
Yes.
Yeah, I would summarize that to like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you would please. Thank
Is there
you.
any?
I already told him I talked to him, so I can take care of that. I can talk to Rob.
To Jay if he wants a
He can
consensus
listen
kind of
to
thing.
it. He drives around. He can listen.
So, all right, I have nothing further.
Are you staying here or going?
Any other
Actually, we have a
comments,
B&B.
concerns?
Heidi's over there.
One thing to ask, Kyoko, one thing to ask when you're talking to like the realtor or the attorney, if there is a purchase, like instead of like us gifting it, if we like sold it, we still got sold it for $5, $10, if that kind of amount makes a difference in the legality situation,
One thing
instead of just capital
gains.
And I think that rolls us.
Does that make sense?
But
you can.
is there a point where we can avoid that with, let's say, $1,000 per share?
Yes, I
That's
think
only
that there's
$7,000. That's
so
not bad.
yes, I understand what you're saying, and we do want to look into what's the lowest value that we could do that would not overwhelm with capital gains. So yes, we'll try and
Yeah.
I mean, there is also a fraud aspect, is if you short a sale of a house, there could be a fraud aspect.
That's if you're intending
To get
on shorting the taxes. To put this into like a vehicle thing, well, I'm going to sell you my car for $10,000, but I'm going to only charge you $10 to avoid paying the sales tax. That's where the fraud comes in. This thing with property, I don't know for sure, but it probably ties into the capital gains aspect.
Yeah.
They want their cut.
Yes,
And
they
what were you
do.
going to say, Alan?
Yes.
Or did we?
If there was this may be Kelco, if there was a legal way to have everyone sign a notarized document where we say Dad's Will says that Gary gets the house. If that's the easiest,
And we will not contest it.
and we won't contest it. If that's the easiest way to do it for taxes and capital gains, then
That may be the case.
And it could be the case,
that
yes,
could be the
for
case.
sure.
And Gary and I can have a handshake and like,
Yes.
you know, if
But I still think you would want something in writing, and we still want some legalities, and if you have a private agreement on the side for something. Okay, we've gone super long, so I just, Grok urged me to say this, and so I'm just
Who?
going to say this, Grok, the AI that I was querying, say,
Okay.
what are we not thinking about? So I'm just gonna throw this out here, and you guys can mull on it for 30 days. No one has mentioned 10 plus years of caregiving. That labor is worth $10,000 to $20,000 a year easily. Many families give a caregiving sibling either the right to live in the house rent-free for X number of years after the parent dies, or a larger percentage of the inheritance. Put it in writing now, or it will be forgotten. So I am just putting that out there that Grok is saying caregiving is worth something. Dad
Meaning
has
him
needs.
living there and maintaining it. And,
No. Dad living with
Oh,
value,
for
Dad living with Kyoko.
providing a service that the rest of you do not have to provide.
well, is he now become your dependent? Or you're giving him more than 50% of his.
He
So-
is renting from us
you know what I mean?
for a discounted rate. So,
I've seen somewhere that when a parent comes into your home and you take care of the parent, that there is some government benefits you receive.
in certain states, I do believe that you can apply
Claim
to be a
taxes.
caregiver, but Minnesota comes to mind, and there's a bunch of fraud in that.
Well, I actually just did my own taxes online, and both my 30-year-old and my 27-year-old qualify to be my dependents for tax purposes because I provide more than 50% of their support due to their not having their own income.
But Dad has his own income.
The question is, at what level is that? You know,
Yeah.
but that's something also to look
That's
into.
Okay.
With this caregiving aspect, yes, you certainly over the next 10 years should receive some sort of benefit, whether it's, I mean, now we haven't talked whether that's an additional sibling percentage, you know, so instead of dividing by 8, we divide it by 9 and you get 2 for that reason. But that's, yes, look into the caregiving benefit.
Okay.
We need more
And like I
information.
said, I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying Grok urged me to say this is worth you ought to at least discuss that there is a value in caregiving, and
it said how much per year, did you
it
say?
said 30%. That the value of it said $10,000 to $20,000 a year cash value, and that my sibling's share should probably be 25 to 30% of the total for the caregiving. And
does everybody
I'm
remember?
not saying, like I said, I'm not saying anything except reading this.
Yes.
Does everybody remember Mary Ellen Spackman, the Spackmans?
Yeah.
I visited with Mary Ellen last fall, kind of about this thing, and because she took care of her mom and dad
For 20 years.
for a long time, and so I'm saying this on Kyoko's behalf that she said make sure the local siblings are able to give her a break and make
And
sure
there
that,
will be times when I'm going to ask for some respite.
that is that and Mike and I have already, well, we haven't talked, but me and Kyoko have talked, and she's included Mike to
Talked
have,
about you.
to you're going to be included in a night a week or something like
volunteered.
that. So
Well, and I'm happy to have Dad here, and I'm happy for him to be sharing our home, and we're getting along super good. I think we're mostly getting along really good. He has to cook for himself a lot. But I don't anticipate any problems. And over time, I'm guessing that there will be some support that I will need from everybody as time goes on. And there may be some things that problems that we need to address. He lives in the basement. If he gets so he can't go up and downstairs. I mean,
we may have
there's
to
things
install
that,
an
yeah.
elevator.
Yeah, so
thing.
there's some things, but
But first it'll be his burnout.
and I do think that having some respite
She's gonna get burned out from you, but that's okay.
will definitely be.
Ship him here. I'll take care of him.
And I know Maggie has a lot of experience in this situation because you took care of your mother-in-law for a long time. So
For several years. Yeah.
she was the provider for her mother-in-law. So maybe she will have some insights, and I've already talked with her about what some of the concerns were and stuff like that.
But you're also getting blessed with his
Yes.
presence.
And Mary Ellen said to me, because I've had several conversations with Mary Ellen about this, and the last thing she said to me was, your mother spent 3 years taking care of her mother, and she said it was the best 3 years of her life. Mm-hmm. That she was so grateful for the opportunity to spend time with her mother, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to spend time with Dad. And I appreciate Dad a lot, that he's here, and I appreciate how he is trying to integrate with us and make it be as easy for everybody all the way around. I hope that we're answering your needs and your wants, and I appreciate that you're trying to answer the needs that we have. And I'm happy to have him here. So don't feel like I'm saying this because, oh my gosh, Dad's such a burden. So
I have nothing else.
that's all I have.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Okay. Jay, when you get done with this, you said you were able to kind of put a consensus using AI or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, you take a
if
recording.
You would put that and the link to the video on the chat so we can access it. I appreciate your expertise.
Oh, I don't. If I had
Here.
Yep.
So, Margaret, where is here?
On a ship somewhere in the Caribbean.
It's over there.
We're somewhere in the Caribbean. We just left Puerto Rico this afternoon. We're gonna be in Grand Turks tomorrow, and then back to Florida Sunday night.
Okay.
Just in time for whiteout conditions in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. They keep saying anywhere from 2 inches to 10 inches.
What time is it there?
Of
local time?
What time is it here? It is in the middle of the ocean.
11:42, but we lose an hour. We gain an hour and a
11:42. We went into a different time change, so I wasn't sure what time. That's why I texted you, Steve, because I was like, "What time is it in Utah?" Because we were in a totally different time zone.
Maggie's never sure about anything.
So.
All right.
But yes, we're basically on the Love Boat. You know, Princess. The movie that we're on the ship that was in the TV series.
Yeah, please don't get wrecked.
Princess Cruise Line. There's nobody named Marianne or the Professor Gilligan.
Not Gilligan's Island.
Not Gilligan's Island.
I appreciate everybody too, and the sentiments and the willingness and stuff like that, because it is big, and it does mean a lot. So.
Oh, I'm happy to see you all, and I'll be seeing you all in April.
I mean, I just see blurs. I don't know if it's
So we have been able to.
So I think.
And Dad will get some new eyes pretty soon.
Oh, just one.
Just one new one.
The other one's still good.
One new eye?
I thought it was.
Which eye is still good?
Is it going to be the same color? Who's donating it?
We have an initial take at the end of March, and then they should be able to schedule to have some new eyeballs.
Yay!
Within
Is it
Awesome.
after
is
March.
it glasses or is he getting something like LASIK?
Cataracts.
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 Yeah, the doctor
Cataract removal.
says you have a cataract, and Leland told him, "No, I have a Lincoln Continental."
Rinking.
A Lincoln Continental.
Chinese.
A Rincon Continental.
The eye down.
All right. Well, we will.
The old Chinese. Yeah.
All right, well, let it go to bed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Link. No.
Set the link. I don't know how do you. Oh, here's the end button.
So does anyone